Alright guys, my name is Civilian Tactics. Welcome on into some 6 Days in Fallujah. So this video is going to be a little bit different. For any of you who have been watching my content for the last couple of days, you'll know that I've been putting up a series for this game. That series is still going up, don't worry. The only reason as to why this video is different is this one is a viewer request. So over on the 6 Days in Fallujah Discord, where I post a lot of my videos, or promote a lot of them, I should say, one of the viewers over there asked me, could I make a tactics video for this game? So yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. Now, see, it's kind of a bit hard to do it properly. Because there's no real way you can go into the game to kind of show things off and that without the insurgents attacking. But I will definitely give it a try. So let's see. Voice chat I can mute because we don't need that. Okay. Let's see, what would be the easiest mission? Actually, the easiest mission I would probably say would be one of the campaign missions. Would be this one, Fallujah. So, we're going to load on into this, and then, yeah, I'll show off some tactics. Now, the reason why I chose this one specifically is at the start of this one, you have to basically assault a building, right? Your first objective is to assault an enemy building and clear it out, basically. So I can show off the assault tactics that I like to use in this game. Now, the person who made the request, they asked for specifically this game. But I would say that the tactics I show for this game is not going to carry over very well to other games. Okay, each game requires its own set of tactics, obviously. So, yeah, we just need to wait for this to load in. Usually takes about a minute or so, and then it'll load in. Now, I've already put a video up of Fallujah. So what we're going to do is basically just skip all the cutscenes and just get straight into the gameplay, basically. So I'm going to cut the recording here, and then I will jump back in when the game loads in.
Copy, first squad. Priority target is due south of your position. Roger, 2-story, about 100 meters south. That's affirmative. You'll have to clear your way to it. Stay on your side of the road. We got multiple friendly units operating right next door. We don't want to
okay.
on blue out there.
So there is the target building. It's the one with the AQ flag on the roof. So, I know that normally I play the game tactically, but for this, we're just going to kind of move in. There's the air boys doing things. So, fuck me. That goddamn machine gun is a pain in the ass. So, what we basically want to do is we want to obviously assault the position. So the first thing we need to do is find a safe way to get near the building. So right here. Okay, well, first of all, as the guy said, we have to clear this place. Okay, so the first tactic I would suggest for this game is if you're going to move, set up on Overwatch first. Right? So the best way to set up on Overwatch would be, we know there's bad guys on this balcony here, we've seen them. So we're going to hold space and right click. Make sure to do it away from that or it will tell them to watch the corner instead. And what that does is that sets up the assist and the fire members of the team to watch that area. So now that they're set up, we can bound up. Myself and the ready member. We can bound up. Just like so. We hit this corner. Now that we're at this corner, what we do is we tell the fire and ready boys to bound up. And we now provide the cover. So you can see them moving on the minimap. When their icons will stop moving, that means that they're in position. Good, they're in position. Now, what we want to do is get set to, of course, bound again. So, I'm going to do the same thing. Tell them to watch the building. They'll take over my pause. And they'll watch the building. Myself and ready. Just double check that the area is actually fucking clear. We'll bound across this open street. We'll get to this building here. And then we'll tell the boys to fall in. Now, from this position, the main threat, I will obviously be pausing the game a lot just so I can talk over, or talk without the game going over the top of me. From this position, the one major threat that we are going to have is A, the downstairs area, and B, the stairwell to the right. The balcony that is to the front is not a threat to myself and Reddy because we're going to be pushing up. It'll be a threat to the fire team, to the support team, but the support pair will obviously be already monitoring the area. So we're going to tell them to collapse in. Where are they? They're on us. Good. So we're going to go here. We're going to hit watch. And that will get them to watch the whole sector. Then me and Reddy are going to bound up. Weapon up as always. You never have your weapon down when you're approaching a doorway. Okay, clear. Another door leading outside. Clear. And clear. Okay, so now we have secured the stairwell inside the building. Now, in a close quarter environment, you're always going to take hits. Okay, there's no way to fully remove the threat of taking a hit. You can do things to minimize taking a hit by throwing grenades, carefully pieing doors and such. But there's always a chance you're going to take a hit. You can only minimize the chance. Now what we're going to do is myself and Reddy are going to push up to the second floor. The support team is going to stay outside and cover the two front doors so that no insurgents can get in at our back. Okay? So we push up to the second floor. That's one down. Now, if you press the Y key, you will switch the weapon to burst fire. You'll switch your M16 to burst fire. Setting the gun to burst can be incredibly useful. Especially when you're indoors, because remember, the insurgents are not wearing armor. So a 3-round burst from your M16 is going to put one of them down on his arse. So we're going to clear this area off. Okay. Now, we don't want to push into that room to clear that door out because the stairwell will be exposed at our back. So we want to come in this way. Clear right, clear left. Okay, that's our wardrobe. Wardrobe is clear. So now the ready should aim at that door. And then I can clear off the stairwell. Okay, stairwell is clear. Now we want to check outside, which is clear. Now we can tell those two boys to break down because we've secured the area that they're watching. So they'll break down, just like so, and then we push up roof level. Now, you can't tell these guys to stack up. What I would like to do, you can do this if you're playing multiplayer, of course, but what I would like to do is, realistically, every room that you are going to clear, you should stack up at the door. And then what that basically means is you should be able to throw the door open and the whole fire team floods out, or floods through the door, basically, or flows through it. You should never have a 1 to 2 man clearing a room. It should be the entire fire team that's clearing the room. Obviously, you have to make exceptions with this game because your character, like, you only have 2 men, or 4 men, sorry, for a fire team. Which realistically, assaulting an enemy HQ building or assaulting an enemy command post, you would never have a 4-man team doing it alone. You would have roughly maybe 8 men at most, 2 fire teams, maybe even 3 fire teams assaulting a location. It would never just be a single 4-man element in a fucking AAV. Okay, that's how an idiot assaults. Okay. So we've just seen tracer fire come in from the left there. So pie off the left. Okay, our ready, I think that was, hit the enemy. Clear. Now that flow out was piss poor, right? That was shit. What you should always be able to do, and the game obviously doesn't allow this because of its command system, but you should always be able to stack up at a door. You pull the door open or boot it open, depending what way the door actually opens, and then the whole team flows out as one, right? I came out there and none of the AI were on my right. Now, there is a set of stairs on the right side of that door, right? Over... fucking, come on. Over there. Right there. That set of stairs could have a bad guy standing on it. Now, when I came out and went left, an AI should have come out and went right and blocked that stairwell. Obviously, the AI didn't do that because they're not programmed to. So, that for example, is very bad, right? You should always have when you go through a door, you should always have what do you call it? A team member come through the door, right? Now, going down that stairwell is one way to go, yeah, but going down the stairwell also exposes you to fire. So what I like to do is go through the building to be able to get back to Gator. You go through the building and you come out here. Now yes, you could be exposed to fire this way as well, but on the stairwell you can't exactly fall back, right? Because on... Oh, he jumped over all. Because on the stairwell, you're all stuck. basically. Right? So, ignore that. Ignore any of the bangs that you can hear. That's just my fucking neighbour being a pain in the arse. Yeah, on a stairwell, you're essentially in a fatal funnel, right? A fatal funnel is also a doorway, but, you know, well, as I've heard Marines say a lot of the time, a fatal funnel is anything that funnels your team into an area. So that stairwell, for example, is a fatal funnel because you're funneling onto the stairs, and if someone shoots up, down, or from the side of those stairs, you're fucked. You can't go anywhere. Right? You run down, you got a chance of falling because, well, not in the game, but in real life, you'd have a chance of falling because of all the gear you're carrying. You can't run back up because there's guys behind you on the fucking stairwell. So you take fire on the stairwell, you're fucked. So that's why I always like to go back through the building. Now, I never do this for the YouTube videos because it would slow the videos down. It would make like a 30-minute video, probably an hour-long video. But you can actually bound towards different things, right? Not just when you're attacking, you can continue to bound when you're just moving from one objective to another. So for example, I could tell the boys, move there. I'll cover this way. The ready guy will probably cover the other direction. And then we wait for them to get in position. So their icons on the minimap in the bottom left have stopped moving. That means they are now in position at where I told them to be. Yep, they are. So now me and the ready will bound past. So we'll bound around just like so. Get to here. I will tell the boys bound to the smoke. I hold this direction. The ready would typically hold the other direction, i.e. the way we just came. We wait for them. Okay, support team's in position. Me and the ready now bound across. And done. We're now safely back at the AAV.
First squad's at the rally point. Roger, stand by.
Oh. I've got full ammo.
Lightning 2, Spartan 3. Convoy en route.
Okay, can we skip this? No. Okay, we can't skip that.
Spartan 3, we are seeing RPG activity in your AO. We can't get in there. Roger.
Now, I've got no clue why the hell the subtitles switched off, but oh well.
There's effective RPG fire coming from a house just south of you. Need you to sweep it out, over. Copy that, Spartan 3.
Anyway, right, okay, so now we have to find the insurgent armory, right? So, to find the armory, let's see. It should mark it on the map. There we go. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buildings that the armory could be inside. So, first things first, we're going to go for that building because it's at the moment the easiest to get to. So, we'll all push up till we hit this wall. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell my boys to watch that direction. No. Watch that direction. Okay, so they're now watching that way. Me and Reddy will bound across. We'll get right across this alleyway. And then I'll tell the guys to, what do you call it, fall in. Or to form up. Okay, they're now formed up. You always want to watch these doors and windows. Because an insurgent could be in any of these houses. You also want to keep an eye out for these. They're called murder holes. Murder holes are holes that are in a wall, holes that are in a door, holes that are in fucking anything essentially. And yep, there you go. That's why you have security set up So I'm going to set the boys up on that one. This house that I'm at. This house to my right hand flank now. That one is the actual objective house. So let's clear it out. Okay, that's clear. I'm going to put this open. Okay, the AAV failed to do its job there. Okay, the AAV isn't even paying a fucking paying attention to the correct area. Okay. First things first. Support pair watch the second floor. Me and the ready will clear off the ground floor. Just like so. Clear. Okay, we're clear down here. Crossing the pipe. Fall in. Push the second floor. Okay, second floor is clear. That's another murder hole. Let's check around. Check the roof. Clear. Okay, this building's clear. So, with this building being clear, it'll be possibly the next one that is the actual objective. Or one of the search locations. Now, that... Again, that's another piece of evidence that the AAV is failing to do its job. The AAV is watching the wrong direction. In reality, right, in real life, we've taken contact from that right-hand side. So that AAV should be watching the right-hand side of the door, based on where we're standing right now. He's currently watching the opposite fucking direction. He's watching the about, say, 5, 6 o'clock direction. Right? He should be watching his 12. He's not watching his 12 and he's got those two machine guns facing the wrong way. So, as you saw there, when I walked out the building, I took a bullet because the AAV's failing to cover his sector. Now, the other failure that's in this is, again, like I said, you would never have one fire team doing this type of thing. You would have a full fucking squad, right? You would have a full squad of men, which I think is about 2 fire teams roughly. Don't quote me on that though. Again, I've never served. But yeah, you would have at least 2 fire teams, right? One to do the actual clearing and one to provide security. Obviously the game doesn't show you, or doesn't do that. So we want to move back out. So this building here must be the one that the cache is in. Okay. So we want to watch that doorway. Okay, living room is clear. An upstairs area. Kitchen is now clear. Oh, no, kitchen is now clear. I didn't notice the wee in-shot section. Okay, disarm that weapon cache. Alright. Boys fall in. Okay, the insurgent armory's in this building. Oh, yep, right there. It's sitting right there in the corner. Now, what I would do, we know the area out the front door to the right is clear, right? Not the area where the AAV is, that's the left. To the right, to my back, is clear. So what I would do is, we know that to my front, it's unclear, right? So we tell the guys, watch there. Okay. We move up here. There's obviously the weapons cache. He's down. Room is clear. Now what we do, plant this. Now technically you could also bring up your secondary team, the support team. You could also bring them up and tell them, hey, you know, cover my back. But really we don't need to. Okay, so now tell them to watch that way. I'm going to watch this direction.
Spartan 3, target's clear. Route's clear for the birds. Copy, first squad. Good work. We'll get them rolling. We need you back on task to clear that priority target. Copy that.
Okay, so now we need to secure the priority target building. First we actually need to make sure that room in there is clear, which it is. Well, it's temporary clear. You can't really say any building in this game is clear, because if you clear it out, it just gets reinforced by hostiles again. Okay, now I just took a guy out standing on that building. And there's of course one on the target building. Now he's not dead, he just put his head down behind the wall. Okay, so we're gonna go like that. Tell him to watch down there. Now the reason why we would tell him to watch down there is, like I said, I just took out a guy down that alleyway, right? So in my mind, I don't know if that alleyway is actually clear now. Yes, I did just pop one guy, but that's not to say that there's a half a dozen fucking insurgents hiding in that building. So you always tell your men, okay, I took contact from XYZ building. You two watch that building. Me and Reddy's going to bound across. You know? Or if you were doing this with a real life amount of fucking soldiers, it would be Team 1, watch that building, we just took contact from it. Team 2, bound across. Essentially. But obviously, ow. Obviously, we don't have a realistic amount of troops. So, we're going to follow in. Okay, target building's the next one over. There's the target building right there. Now, what I would suggest is, if you're going to play this game, definitely clear out whatever buildings you take contact from. Because, for example, if I push onto the target building, this building that is in front of me, that I'm looking at, we know that there's insurgents in there. So if I push onto the target building, these fuckers are going to shoot us in the back. So, that room's clear. Team 2, clear the door. I thought that was one of ours that was in that room for a minute. I'm an idiot. Good shots. Team 2, clear that room front. And while they do that, we simultaneously will clear out this room, me and Reddy. Okay, back door. Blue, 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 friendly. Okay, none of our boys are inside of us. So then what I would do is, I would tell the guys, gut that, or clear that room. I'll yank this door. Get fucking stuck on the other side of it. Now, I should be able to just open this door because it should be friendly on the other side. Blue, blue. And there you go. We've effectively cleared out this building. Does that actually lead up to the roof to take out the wee fucker that's up there? Nope, stairs are outside. Here's the stairs here. Clear. Right. So now, this building has been cleared out, which essentially means our 6 o'clock is now secured. So now we can use this building as a stepping off point to assault the target building to the right. Now, I'm going to reload. There's the target building there. I'm going to tell these boys to watch there. Grab some more fucking bullets. Gonna need a lot of those. Right, tell them to fall in now that me and Reddy are across the street. Okay, boys are in. Now, if the door doesn't say, doesn't have the thing to clear it, you can still press F while looking in the door. And your men will basically flow in. Now technically you can do that to be able to push out as a group, right? So like, you go, alright, well you could if they actually follow the fucking order. You do that, and then the 4 of you flow out. Just like so. Now, I'm going to move these boys to here. I'm going to say, watch that. The upper floor. Now, you always want them watching the upper floor because your team's always going to be engaging the ground floor. Okay? You're always going to be engaging the ground floor, so there's no sense telling them, hey, watch the ground floor when you're going in the ground floor. So you always tell your team, watch the second deck. Okay? Where'd he go? Okay. Run out now because of the bomb. And rather than those idiots getting us, they got themselves. But we can just skip the cutscene here because we've already seen that. And there you go. So, duration 20 minutes, 54 seconds. We cleared all of the emplacements and such. One member of the fire team sustained wounds, 1 weapon cache neutralized, and an estimated 32 insurgents killed in combat. And, like, there you have it. You know, that is us, essentially done. Right? So, doing tactic tutorials is a wee bit hard because tactics are a never-ending thing, right? Or an always changing thing. You always do them. Our tactics always change depending on the situation. But for the most part, what I did there with the support team, that's what you should always be trying to do in this game, right? Is you should always be trying to utilize your support team to basically their fullest potential, right? You always tell them, watch this area, suppress this area. And the reason why I never did any suppress orders is because we always dealt with threats quickly, right? There was no reason to suppress. But if, say for example, you fire at a bad guy who's standing in a window and he moves away from that window without you guys killing him, then you tell the guys, hey, suppress that fucking window. There's a bad guy in it, suppress it. Don't let him get back in that window to shoot again. And alright, yeah, but that's one thing you should always be doing, right? You should always try and bound with your fire team. You should always get the support team to either watch an area, suppress an area, fucking clear a room. Try not to flow into areas that has got multiple insurgents in it, right? Remember, you don't have any flashbangs in this game. So try not to flow into areas where, there's like 3 or 4 insurgents in the room. In that case, you fight from the doorway, essentially. You stay outside the doorway and you just kind of pie left and right, which is basically just lean left or lean right, and just kind of slowly inch your character around. And yeah, just, fight from the doorway, essentially. But what you want to try and do when you're flowing into a room, you want to try and get out that doorway as fast as possible, right? The doorway is, any doorway in a combat situation is a fatal funnel. So if you stop in that doorway, you're not only getting yourself killed, you're going to get whoever's at the back of you killed as well, right? And there's been a lot of times where, I've been playing games, and I know some people probably say this is harsh, but there's been a lot of times where I've been playing games, someone has stopped in the middle of a doorway, gotten all of the team killed, and I've just quit the game, right? I've just essentially quit straight out of the game and left the voice call. And I know someone probably says that not a bit mean, but there's, like, if your team is basically going to shout at you for the fact you've stopped in the middle of a doorway, yeah, you deserve it. Because that's an idiot's thing to do, is to stop in the middle of a door. Or, the other thing that's idiotic is if you're trying to get up or down a stairwell, right? If you try and go down a stairwell, say, you've got teammates coming down at the back of you, and then you stop on the stairwell because there's a bad guy in front of you. You shoot that bad guy, and then you try and get back up the stairwell, you're interrupting the team's flow then, right? Because everybody's already flowing downwards. So the best thing to do is just shoot the bad guy that's in front of you and go forward, get the hell off the stairs and clear it, right? And obviously get yourself into cover. But, if people need to go back up the stairwell, well, you can just shout back up, hey, don't come fucking down here, there's bad guys. And then the men behind you are going to know, right, okay, nobody else flow forward, there's bad guys. 2 men are already down there dealing with the situation. They'll shout up if they need any more men down there. But yeah, tactics videos are always kind of hard to do. Just because they always change all the time. But hopefully the video was informative enough for you guys. Hopefully it'll allow some of you to maybe enjoy the game a wee bit more. Again, is this game realistic? No, absolutely not. It is absolutely not realistic at all. The reason why I say it's not realistic at all is IRL, you would never have one fire team doing the shit that you do in this game. Right? You would always have a bigger force to do the tasks. Right? Like anything, you look up any military thing, you look up any like helmet cam footage of fucking Afghanistan, fucking Ukraine, whatever, you will always see it is not one 4-man team doing a fucking job. There is about 9, maybe 12 men per group doing a job. You know, that usually splits up into 2 fire teams of 6, if it's 12. And yeah, you never send a small fucking team to do a job, right? And I don't care what anybody says, you never send a small team to do a job, right? It doesn't matter, even if it's a SWAT team, for example, like a civilian SWAT team. There's always 2 or 3 SWAT teams doing a raid, or 2 or 3 SWAT teams doing a rescue operation. And you never have just one team doing everything, basically, right? That's a dumb thing to do. But I obviously understand why the game is the way it is. You know, excuse me. Some players would probably struggle to control a bigger team. I myself, I've got 2,000 hours in Arma 3. Well, I think it's like 1,800 hours, but still. So I'm used to controlling huge or huge squads and such. Because for those who don't know, I think I mentioned this in one of my other videos, but for those who don't know, for Arma 3, I play single player only. I've only ever did multiplayer one time, and that was for 1 hour. The rest of my 1,799 hours is all single player, right? And I've been commanding the AI in that for, honestly, since I got the game. So for someone like me, if this game did obviously bump up the Marine numbers to realistic, then of course, you know, I'd have no problem controlling that size of a force. But for that size of a force, obviously the command system would obviously need to be reworked. There is no fucking way at all that, you know, the game's current command system could control or could work for a much larger fucking team. But yeah, 6 Days in Fallujah is definitely a fun game. But yeah, it's nowhere near realistic. Nowhere near it. And like, I don't care what people try and say. It's like, no, the game's not realistic at all. It is realistic in the sense of the insurgent numbers, and it's in the sense of like taking hits, right? And the number of hits that puts you down. But yeah, it's not realistic in terms of combat strength at all. But yeah, hopefully this little tutorial helped you guys. I don't really know what other tactic tutorials I could do with the game. Basically, the whole tactic thing for the game is just utilize your secondary pair. You know, your support team. That's all I can really say is just, you know, utilize that team. Because if you're the type of player who tries to get through the game without giving orders to like your support team, then, well, first of all, you're an idiot. Second of all, you're basically fucking yourself over. You know, your support team is there to be given orders and to be used effectively. And it's like, if you're not using them, well, what the hell are you playing the game for? You know? But yeah, hopefully it kind of helped you guys a bit. I've never really did a tactics video before where I talk about my tactics and such, so I don't really know what to actually say or kind of what to do. But yeah, hopefully it helped. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can stay up to date. That's if the fucking notifications actually work. For those of you who are actually interested in the content, if you jump down to the description of the video, if I can fucking speak English, you will find a Discord link down there. Now, my Discord is 18 plus only. It's not one of those like NSFW ones, don't worry. But yeah, it is 18 plus only because yeah, with the type of videos I make, I wouldn't want kids watching. Put it that way. Sorry about that. I had to take a drink. But yeah, if you want to stay up to date with the videos and such, bounce down to the description. Jump into the Discord. In the Discord, you guys can actually talk to me directly. You can also talk to me in the comments. Don't get me wrong, but you know you can also talk to me directly in the Discord as well. I've got no problem with you guys like pinging and starting up a conversation or what. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, stay safe and much love.